We will start with the largest banking scam this country has ever seen. By the quantum which is already in the public domain, it is nearly 14,000 crores. If you get into the number of years which it was successfully, the manipulation happened.
In 2008 and 9, this Gitanjali Gems was doing a huge advertisements by using all the celebrities of India. Our brands will sell 3 times of the regular pricing, so we believed in it.
But the Nirav Modi's diamonds in a lighter vein, I think it was being used by some Hollywood stars also, like Kate Winslet and all that.
See, if you want to give a free diamond necklace, who will not want to advertise for you? First FIR on Mehul Choksi by any Indian. My understanding is that Choksi had moles in every industry, every agency. I saved the country apart from this 30,000 crore which is lost because of...
From where does this 30,000 crore come?
Officers from ET and CBI and what are the other agencies that they are supposed to go. They took a private aircraft at the cost of the government, went there to bring him back, but he never came back. They couldn't bring him back.
That from Gokulnath Shetty to CEO of ICICI Bank. Anybody can play around with the banking system in whichever manner they feel like, inclusive of a great regulator like SEBI.
Even if government of India gets him now, can they get back this money looted by him from Indians, residents, Indian citizens, as well as Indian banks? I don't think it will happen.
Unfortunately, it is a black mark, not only in the history of banking in this country, but also of the regulators, regulatory agencies of the government, because literally at every point, even with the knowledge of whatever was happening, things were about to happen. That is,
I don't think there is any good ecosystem. I have learned from various news that many of the whistleblowers have been killed.
either in silo or combined, inclusive of the Prime Minister's office, was not able to give any sort of relief. Welcome to the SANJAY Sahay Podcast, Unravelling India. I have been in the public domain for quite some time in a variety of ways as a public speaker, writer and a TV panelist. And in the normal course of progression, I thought to get into the podcast arena. This provides me enough time for a detailed discussion on variety of issues which is close to my heart and is also close to the viewers as well. In the fast-moving digital media, in the social media world, there's hardly any focus on the depth, detail, and even the utility of issues and how it impacts you. I have been doing TV discussions for last nearly 1.5 years. I have been in public speaking for nearly 20 years, and I have been writing in a very prolific manner in nearly every issue in technology, governance, self-improvement, and variety of other domains. Today we are starting with the podcast. We will start with the largest banking scam this country has ever seen. Might be most of you are able to guess as to what this scam is. It is popularly known as the PNB scam or Nirav Modi, Mehul Choksi, LOU scam. It was of a nature and magnitude in every dimension. By the quantum which is already in the public domain, it is nearly 14,000 crores. If you get into the number of years which it was successfully, the manipulation happened, that was for nearly 7 years. Before delving deep into this banking scam, the banking fiasco and the way public money was stashed out of this country and into variety of shell companies, we will discuss with Mr. Hari Prasad. Welcome, Mr. Hari Prasad. He is by far, I think, the most well-known external whistleblower this country has ever seen, and the way he has documented this whole scam, brought it to the authorities. Though it was a slight mess, certainly not on his part, his documentation was nearly perfect. It's the government and the regulatory agencies which gave a mess for whatever reasons, indifference, ignorance, collusion that we will see during the course of this discussion. Before we get into the entrepreneurial mode and why he got into Gitanjali Gems, I would request Mr. Hari Prasad to give a little bit of a snapshot into his life before this tragic Gitanjali Gems fiasco started.
Well, namaskar to everybody. I am very glad to be a part of Mr. Sanjay Sahay's podcast here. In brief, I am basically a management graduate from Delhi, and I've been a businessman for the past 45 years. I was initially into international business for export import of various products from South Asia to Europe and US. After that, after I was abroad for almost like 16, 17 years and then came back to India. Then I was into many businesses in India. One fine morning, I realized that there is a big opportunity with Gitanjali Gems to set up a retail showroom.
So, Mr. Hari
Yes.
Prasad, we will get into the details as to why you got into Gitanjali Gems. We would like to know your proficiency regarding trade, commerce, business, stock trading, which gave you a level of comfort, to best of my understanding, to get into the nature of the trade which you got in, and finally, to your bad luck and to bad luck of large number of other franchisees, turned out to be a fiasco. So what has been your expertise which helped you propel or gave you the confidence to get into an area which you are not knowing or you are not comfortable with?
Well, my proficiency comes from my education background. I'm an MBA, and I've been doing international business for the almost 20 years before getting into Gitanjali. So I have understood the whole structure of international transactions because I was in the same kind of business, but not in the diamond and jewelry, but in the apparel industry. So when I came back to India, when I returned from abroad and came back to India, so I saw some opportunity with Gitanjali to set up a diamond showroom in Bangalore because they assured some kind of returns, guaranteed returns and all. That made me to get into this business. Though I didn't know much about it, I had a passion for jewelry or diamonds. That's why I got into the business.
So Mr. Hari Prasad has a very diverse background and a very keen understanding and a very discerning eye of international business and the way transactions happen. Though he practiced in a different geography, and that geography also is not very far from this country, that happens to be Bangladesh in the apparel industry, which is very comfortable with. So being so comfortable with international business and having decided to come back to India and start his business here, and with the nature of assets which was available with him, he thought that Gitanjali Gems or a jewelry store would be natural progression into the nature of things which he decided to, or might be his visualization of his future as a multi-entrepreneur or trying to establish businesses successfully. So with that in mind, he got into Gitanjali Gems. I would just like Mr. Hari Prasad to please elaborate as to what was the due diligence or what was the nature of documentation, and what was your first level of contact with Mehul Choksi and Gitanjali Gems, and which finally gave you the confidence to get into that?
In 2008 and 9, this Gitanjali Gems was doing a huge advertisements by using all the celebrities of India, very big celebrities, very big branding, very big advertisings going on in India with collaboration with the Times of India group. So some of my friends, known friends, had invested with him into a jewelry showroom, and I had a good interaction with them and did proper due diligence to the best of my ability by studying their prospects, by studying their balance sheets. Everything was perfect when I started the business, decided to start the business with them. The most attractive offer they gave was to give a guaranteed returns on the investment that I make, and the entire structure will be run by them. We are just an investor and a monitor. That's it. So that gives me confidence that I could do some business with them. That is how I got in.
So the nature of returns which Gitanjali was promising, was it in the normal scheme of things? What was that was the natural return on an investment of rupees 10 crore, if I know it right? Or was it higher than the market return, or they were able to give you a return or promise you a return with the nature of effort which was at a very superficial level, and still you could make that amount of money?
No, the guaranteed returns offer was only 12% per annum, which is quite absolutely normal returns that we can expect. And the other condition was 30% of the profit on the goods that generated. That is an additional incentive. If you take an overall turnover, it could lead to about 20 to 22%, which is quite normal in kind of business that we are able to do it. So that made me to take a decision, and also I did due diligence with my friends who are doing some kind of business with them. That is how I got in.
So broadly, gems and jewelry business, this is the nature of return, and Mr. Hari Prasad did his due diligence to his discerning eye and all his capability and expertise in this area. He thought that things were fine and the returns were pretty normal. It was not astronomical or hitting the roof. Having done the due diligence, what were the processes we got into till the time you established the showroom in Bangalore?
No, it was not very difficult because I owned the building, so building was ready. We did just interior work and then they supplied the goods. The whole thing came to light when they supplied the goods to my store, which were absolutely over invoiced. So if the product value is only 1 crore, they invoiced it for 3 times of that money, saying that we will give you some 30% of the profit on the sale. But because it was over invoiced, there was no sale. So we have seen the situation for 6 months or 8 months. We realized that it is not going to sell at this price. They were not. They were offering some discounts which are not commensurate with the quality of the product and the price of the product. That's when within 6 months, and he started defying all the terms and conditions which were entered into with him, and that made me decide that something fishy is going on.
So this was which month and which year?
It is February 2012.
So February 2012, you started with this business.
Yes.
And within 6 months time, you are nearly sure of the fact that you have got into rough weather.
Something fishy.
You have got into rough weather and things are not under your control.
Yes.
So besides over invoicing, he was not even paying you the rent.
Yes.
Am I right?
You are right.
So for how many months did normal transactions run, or from the first shipment itself, it was over invoicing?
From the day one, it was over invoiced because I didn't have much knowledge about the diamond pricing. So, and also the guarantee of sale was taken by them, and also I was assured by guaranteed returns. It all looks smooth and fine because even if they don't sell, they have to give me minimum guarantee returns and they have to give me the rent for the building. So I thought it's okay, they will manage the show. But for the money they have taken from me and the goods they have given me, there is a big difference in the real value. So when I invested 10 crores, actual value of the goods I got is only 3 or 4 crores. But they invoiced it for 20 crores. This is how the whole game started. By the time I realized it, it was already 6 months to 8 months.
So basically this over invoicing was not to create customers by giving discount. Over invoicing was basically to cut the franchises to size and siphon off the money. Am I right?
I don't know what is the idea behind it because they had a brand. They said our brands will sell 3 times of the regular pricing. So we believed in it because the best of Bollywood stars were brand ambassadors for them, including Shah Rukh Khan, everybody. So we thought they will sell it. But ultimately, the whole game which I understood later in 2013, by 2013 I realized that these guys are not going to perform their committed terms and condition of the agreement. Then I realized, I told them to take back the goods and give back the money. Then the real problem started. They said we will not take back. We will make sure that the business will run, we will give that, we will give that. They started dealer-dallying it. So I ran the showroom for 18 months, yes, almost like 18 months. I realized that nothing is going to happen, then I decided to shut down the store.
So what was the total amount of turnover of your showroom in 18 months? How much were you able to sell?
Around 6 crores of goods which are only gold. Diamond was never sold because it was overpriced.
So diamond was never sold at all?
Very little, insignificant.
So you started in February 2012, right?
Yeah.
And you realized by September
2013.
No, by September 2012 itself.
Yes, realized.
While you started getting the consignments which were not of the value you wanted it to be, and you are nearly sure through whatever expertise, capability and experience you had that this is not going to sell and there is something very, very fishy.
Absolutely.
But you continued for one more year.
I started negotiating with them to get back my money. So it took 6 months for in the process of negotiation. But at the end of 6 months also, there was nothing is happening. They were only dealer-dallying, giving अपन करेंगे, अपन वो करेंगे, अपन ये करेंगे, but कुछ हुआ नहीं है.
But this Nirav Modi's diamonds in a lighter vein, I think it was being used by some Hollywood stars also, like Kate Winslet and all that.
See, if you want to give a free diamond necklace, who will not want to advertise for you?
Correct. And that was the bait for the franchises here. Okay, so we'll get into the serious stuff once again. So you finally realized that nothing is going to work out. Then when did you finally decide that you will get into the legal course of things and you would bring it in the public domain?
Well, in
And what
2000,
gave you the confidence?
yes, 2012 I started, 2013 I ran it. By 2014 beginning around, I closed the showroom.
Right.
Then I decided to file a cheating case on him because he has really cheated me in terms of not giving back the money as per the commitments. So in that time, I went to Central Police Station in Bangalore, and I wanted to file an FIR on them regarding the 420 or cheating case by giving all the documentation whichever I had. There was resentment from the local police inspector that not filing the FIR and all. Then I knew Mr. Sanjay Sahay for a long time. I took his help and I went to his office and requested him to help me to file an FIR. So he called the concerned officer and then they filed the FIR on him, the first FIR on Mehul Choksi by any Indian, though he was very powerful.
So the first FIR, as Mr. Hari Prasad says, and I would like to unravel a fact that Mr. Hari Prasad and me have been friends for at least more than 20 years, if not more. And in his hour of need, he came to me and we got this case registered. Unfortunately, the case did not go much ahead and investigation faced a roadblock. What was that roadblock? And why a roadblock?
I don't think investigation was bad. They started to do the investigation properly only in the initial stages. But by the time it went to a serious situation that supposed to go, I had filed a case in the local court, I mean CMM court, because warrant was issued on him. And then he came into the picture and tried to manipulate.
So warrant was issued on Mehul Choksi.
Yes.
In the case pertaining to the Bangalore Central Police Station, am I right?
Yes.
Then what happened of the warrant?
In the court, the case ran for some time and the warrant was issued.
Was he arrested?
No. By the time things started moving further, I think Choksi met some senior police officers. And my local inspector told me, sir, we could not pursue further and we filed the B report.
Okay. So B final report was filed by Bangalore Central Police Station. Am I right?
Yes.
Did the case go to CID?
Yes. After that, I did not relent on it and I pursued it further and I took help of my best friends in the department and I transferred the case to CID.
So primarily with an external whistleblower, which is a very not a normal thing in this country. So Hari Prasad has a nature of perseverance, patience, expertise and good amount of grit and courage, which was basically pushing him. It was his DNA which is pushing him over and over again. Having some faith in the whole of the ecosystem that at the end of the day or at the end of the tunnel there will be some light and finally he will get justice. But that was not to happen. So when you realize that you are not, justice is not within an arm's length or the ecosystem is certainly not reciprocative to a victim like you, then what did you think of and what were your inner feelings and how did you go about it?
Well, before I filed my FIR also, I have gathered information that like me, there are hundreds of franchisees all over India who got cheated by him, but they were not willing to take it to next course of action. But since I have decided to get back my money, I said I will have to take it to the legal course of action. I got in there. So when in fact even when the B report was submitted, so I requested to case to be transferred to CID. Initially, CID definitely did their job well, but when the thing started going further, Choksi met some other senior officers in CID and it started going to cold storage.
So it was indifference, lack of expertise, ignorance or collusion. So it can be one of these, it can be a combination of all of these in whichever manner at the end of the day. The case did not see the light of the day to best of my understanding, if I remember correctly at that point in time. Me and Mr. Hari Prasad were of the opinion some 5-7 cases were registered in this country to the tune of around 500 to 700 crores or somewhere in that range.
No.
Please correct me.
No. Actually, there were almost like 40 FIRs registered all over India from different cities, and the total value approximately which was in the FIRs were about for the public people. That time still I didn't know that PNB bank scam is going on. For the public it was about 300 crores.
So 300 crores was supposed to be the initial amount, and 300 crores is a huge amount of money. Primarily within the regulatory scope and under the cover of the India's regulatory mechanism, and even with best of the efforts, I don't think any of the regulators delivered anything which either the franchisees wanted or which could have been done on behalf of the people who have invested their money in public sector banks in this country. Where all did you go with your cry for justice and begging or cajoling or pursuing or showing your expertise, skills, documentation? You would have gone to all around the place. You came to me, you went to CID, you are aware of all those 5, 7, 10, 20 cases across different parts of the country. You are also able to quantify that in 2014 you knew of a scam or a fraud of around 300 crores. So if you were so involved, and I think that became your prime mover of your existence at that particular point in time, having been the victim of 10 crores or 12 crores, 13 crores, where all did you go to beg for justice?
Well, initially I was only thinking about the franchisees like me. So I was trying to collate all the franchisees information together. We formed a Geetanjali victims group and all. So we collated and submitted we collated it first. Then we started to investigate what is going on in his company as such. So we studied in deep about their balance sheets, their public information which is available on the public. Also, we had internal friends in the industry, in the company. They told me the walls are empty, but in the balance sheets they are showing full of material. So this gave us a total surprise, and then we've gone through where all he took a loan. And according to that information on that time, he had taken a loan of about 10 to 12,000 crores from almost 25 to 30 banks, number one. That's a very scary thing. When I come to know internally that there is no stock inside, but in the balance sheet is showing a big stock, big receivables, big stocks are there. Then I told that it is a big scam is expected to happen. Whatever happened, when I see the entire balance sheet which is available in the public domain, I am an educated MBA, so I understand the balance sheets well, I understand the transactions well. I collated the entire information that currently, and not only that, in the balance sheet, it's clearly showing for the past 3 years, when I started to investigate about myself, he has not even paid the income tax dues. This is surprising to me. If any Indian individual or a company doesn't pay income tax at the end of the year, there will be a penalty, but it's continued for 3 years. But I don't know how.
Can you speculate as to how that happened?
That is left to authorities to answer. I don't know.
That is left to authorities to answer, and being a business entity, the business entity did not file, and a well-known business entity, their income tax returns for 3 years.
No, sorry. There's a correction. They file income tax returns.
Yes.
There's a tax due.
And
tax due may be 150 crores, 200 crores.
That was not
That's
paid.
not paid.
Okay.
That tax due continued for 3 years.
Returns were there.
Returns were
the
there.
Tax due was not paid. It consistently went on for 3 years.
Not paid, unpaid tax.
Unpaid for 3 years.
Yes.
And presumably no action was taken. So we come back to where we started, as far as I will call it the grand coalition which you created. These franchises, did you approach them or they approached you, and how did they come together, and why and how they had faith in you that you will be able to guide them? All of you were in the same boat. That is certainly right, but it seems that you are able to garner that support either in an organic manner or through some awareness or whichever manner. So I think for future reference, it would be really worthwhile that when we land in situation of this nature and there are large number of victims, how do we come together and put forth a very strong sort of a coalition and should be in a position to push it through?
Well, I knew few of them were my friends who had also invested with Gitanjali Group. That's how I come to know. I gathered a few of them. Then there was one person in the company itself who left the company. He told me, apart from you, there are so many other people who got cheated by him. So I said, okay, I collected all the information and contacted them and made a group, WhatsApp group, and told them who are all filed their FIRs, and I went into websites, court website, and find all the FIRs raised on him. I collated all the information. Then I said, okay, I made a detailed letter showing what kind of fraudulent activity is going on in this company. The first place where I went was the CID of Bangalore. Investigation was still going on. Then it was in the cold storage for whatever is the reason, I don't know. Then I sent the information to CBI by email, and also I sent information to ED in Bangalore by email.
So what were, I'll just interject, what were the replies, if any?
I didn't get a single reply from single agency.
Okay, please go ahead. Then we get into how you created this group.
Created a group because all the victims were trying to get some help. I said
and they were trying to get connected to each other.
Connected to each other, and we all connected together. We said we'll fight as a group.
So broadly, you went into the balance sheet, you went into various other documentation, you went into contracts, you got into the nature of loans they have taken, you also got into income tax returns, unpaid credit and all that. So that being as it stands, whatever little research I was able to do, there is something called this loan to asset ratio. What is this loan to asset ratio, and how that becomes a red flag of a very, very critical nature, which gives you a manifestation of the health of that particular business entity operating in that area?
See, the loan to asset ratio is a regular way of assessing the company's net worth. But in case of diamonds, the price of a diamond is not properly defined in the world. There is a Rappaport report and all those things, but it is totally manageable, manipulatable, and
so for general viewers, so there is no standards of the worth or value of a diamond.
Yeah, there is some standard, but the standard is also like fictitious standard. Suppose example, 1 carat diamond, the standard rate is maybe 10 lakhs, but nobody sells at 10 lakhs. Standard rate is 10 lakhs. They will sell it at 4 lakhs.
Which means that the diamond pricing is primarily dictated, or is a game of diamond traders?
Yes, it is, though Rappaport report says a general standard pricing, but it is never followed. They sell in the market based on the demand supply.
So basically the diamond market and the diamond trade itself is skewed. There is absolutely no denying that fact, based on whatever little conversation I had with Mr. Hari Prasad so far and whatever little reading I have done for this podcast. So this seems to be a very, very general sort of impression, and there are no other contradictory or diametrically opposite views on this particular topic. Now, having come to a situation wherein ED, CBI, none of these guys were responding to you, Bangalore Central Police Station, CID, they were also unresponsive. So basically you were hitting the end of the road.
Well, yeah.
Positive part was that 200 plus franchises there with you, and you did a very commendable, what the police could not do, what the ED decided not to do, which the CBI decided not to do. So that level of investigation you did primarily on documents, and you were able to bring out the discrepancies in a manner so that your case was basically foolproof. Now the authorities did not agree, or they did not even get into it. That is the different story altogether. So having reached the end of the road, plus having done a neat investigation, which means you had sufficient enough proof, at least to get to FIR and an investigation level, what did you do?
Well, by the time my case was going on in Bangalore courts and CID investigation, it was going slow, never mind. But the information which I collated, it was purely easily understandable by common man that there is already a fraud existing about 10,000 crores apart from the franchisee money which he has looted. Okay. So that already explains very well. I have prepared a complete detailed report on how I have arrived at this figure and where is the scam going on. how the over invoicing and under invoicing of the diamonds trade is going on with this fellow based on my understanding of the international business. So, when it was all informed to the concerned authorities, I went to ED, I went to CBI, I went to SEBI, I went to CIFO, whatever is possible investigation agency, I requested them, please, these are the discrepancies which are openly available in the documents. If you put a forensic report, you will come to know all the details in detail. Please depute somebody for the forensic report.
If all these things were so crystal clear, and I come from a government background and I am convinced of the fact that all these agencies and the people who run these agencies are competent enough to understand at least this at the minimal level and variety of things, and they do most complicated of the investigation. So somehow we are getting an inkling that it is a rigged system.
What my understanding is,
By design or default?
my understanding is that Choksi had moles in every industry, every agency.
Okay, so Choksi had moles in every industry. We will not get into that we have some scoop or anything, but Choksi, presumably by the external whistleblower who is supposed to be an expert in as far as this particular case is concerned, that he had moles in every regulatory agency, investigative agency, whichever other agencies it might be. Now, when you have all these things in place and your documentation was fine, you are convinced that, okay, we need to go somewhere. Where did you go?
Well, when I didn't get any proper response from any agency, finally I decided to write to PMO, because PMO had opened the portal for grievances from the public and all. So I sent a detailed letter explaining the whole facts, also telling the examples of other fugitives who have left India by cheating the banks. So I told her exactly what is going on. Please depute concerned any good officer who can investigate the things and bring out the facts. That PMO letter, I think as a routine matter, they sent that letter to ROC thinking that it is only company matter, okay, company ROC matter. And somehow the ROC did not pursue further, neither they contacted me. After 1 or 2 months, I got a letter from email from ROC or something like that. So they are saying that we didn't find anything fishy, so case is closed.
So primarily the ROC, whatever reply they gave to you, I don't think there was any explanation, defense or reasoning or substantiation.
No.
The more disturbing part is that what was the nature of inquiry or investigation which the ROC conducted?
No explanation from any agency about my complaint.
So ROC, which gets a forwarded letter from the Prime Minister's office to investigate and find out as to what this issue is, with a very clear-cut mention that this will also go the Kingfisher way or it will go the Sahara way. That has been very clearly mentioned in your letter, if I am right.
Absolutely.
So even with that mention and sufficient amount of evidence provided, they did not do anything at all. Okay. So from 26th of July 2016, when you submitted it to the Prime Minister's office, and I've gone through the correspondence thereof, and everywhere there is a very clear mention and there are extracts of your letter which has appeared very, very liberally in the public domain. So I don't think you left anything to doubt, and the ROC closed it for whatever reasons we are not aware of. From say September 2016 till around Jan 2018, what were you doing? What was happening? There was a lull in this case, or you finally thought it is the end of the road, nothing can happen. The franchisees got back to their business, and our regulatory agencies from what we call as a regulatory indifference, so they got into a regulatory paralysis. Now they were aware. They are the regulators, they are aware of it. So there was indifference in the beginning. Now when everything is brought to light, everything is right there and they are not ready to act. So I call this as the regulatory paralysis. So you know and you are not ready to respond. It's not that you don't know, or it's not that you don't have the capability, you don't have the capability to respond. You have the capability to respond, you have decided not to respond for a common man like us. So it is basically a regulatory paralysis. From September 2016 to 2018 January, when this whole thing literally hit the roof, what were you guys doing?
Well, I was still not relenting on it. I was trying to pursue the case through various other agencies. And then I came to know in 2017, I think, 16 or 17, I don't remember exact year, that he is coming out with another IPO for Nakshatra Diamonds.
Okay.
When I come to know this IPO is coming up, this
So
is about
Nakshatra brand belongs to him.
belongs to him. Nakshatra brand of diamond jewelry belongs to Choksi. Nakshatra brand was supposed to come into IPO.
Okay.
IPO goes through SEBI regulations.
Right.
Okay. I came to know that Nakshatra brand is going for IPO with 800 crores
Okay.
amount of collections.
Right.
I visited SEBI.
You visited SEBI.
I went to SEBI office in Bombay.
Okay.
Personally, I went and I tried to meet the big officers that this Nakshatra brand IPO cannot happen because company is totally fraud.
Right.
The whatever is the prospectus has declared is fraud, and he has 40 cases on him in the FIRs. None of these are mentioned in the prospectus, which is supposed to mention. Yes, superficially, it is mentioned that some cases are going on, something like that. I said, sir, this cannot happen because it is another way of looting the public for another 800 crores.
Right.
So I pursued it to the tooth and nail.
Who did you meet in SEBI office?
Actually, I had a
You can
contact.
remember.
I had a contact who was in the department. I can't remember his name now.
Or at least the level.
Level.
That will give us some indication of things.
I was not allowed to meet any senior fellows. So I
So
met.
you were not able to meet anybody in the top management.
Yes, top management, nobody was meeting me. And the guys whom I met.
Might be the New York credentials.
Sorry?
Might be the New York credentials.
I don't know what happened. So they deputed some lady officer to discuss with me. Sir, हम क्या कर सकते हैं? ऊपर से order है.
So
मैंने बोला, how are you able to give the permission to go for IPO with this kind of background of the company?
okay, did the Nakshatra IPO happen?
No. Finally, I gave an in-writing letter to them, SEBI, that if it happens, this is another scam which will be exposed. So finally, for whatever the reason, the IPO is stopped. So I am feeling happy that I could save the country for another 800 crores of fraud by Mehul Choksi.
So broadly, my understanding is, even if Mr. Hari Prasad might not declare it openly, so his letter came in way of Nakshatra IPO. That is to best of my understanding, because there is nobody pursuing this PNB scam or Mehul Choksi case in the manner he was doing, and he was a well-known face by then, at least amongst the enforcement agencies and the investigative agencies. The whole brotherhood of regulators knew who Hari Prasad was. So presumably he was able to provide some succor to the prospective victims of the Nakshatra IPO.
Absolutely. Otherwise, another 800 crore would have been looted by this guy.
Correct. So from there, when did you come to know of this scam in the manner it happened?
Frankly, during my course of action or investigation or my efforts to bring him to the justice, I really didn't know that this LOA scam is going on in PNB. Okay. So this one fine morning, I think in February 2018, I think. So the scam got exposed, and
I think it was January 2018.
January or February 2018.
January 2018.
It came into light. Somehow, some political opposition party leaders got hold of my letter sent to PMO, and they put it in the public domain. That so and so has.
The whole letter is in the public domain.
That time it was not there because of this guy, this person from opposition party. I think Randeep Surjewala.
Okay.
So he got hold of my letter. Somehow I don't know from where he got it.
Okay.
So in the public, press conference, he said, Mr. Hari Prasad has informed the PMO in 2016 only, but it was ignored, and this was the whole game which has happened. Then it came to my name, it came into the picture. Otherwise, nobody knew who I am.
So might be it's the only case in this country where external whistleblower has been able to literally predict. And we can't even call it predict, because he was not trying out some prophecy or some godly sort of an affair. He had done a neat investigation based on public domain documents, what we call in technology parlance today as a open source intelligence.
Absolutely.
So either it is open source intelligence, or you can call it to some level a forensic audit. So, somewhere between these big jargons, this work was done, and that is why we can confidently say that this is the most predictable of a scam which was brought to light. The government and the regulator decided not to act on it. If they would have acted upon, we'll get into a little bit of conjecture before we come back to the story again, for the benefit of the viewers, our understanding, and generally to try to unravel things which might be you have not given much thought, and also to unravel the regulatory agencies, also the ecosystem in which we live. If they would have acted, and we'll again come back to the Bangalore Central Police Station and Bangalore CID, what would have been the impact?
Country would have saved 30,000 crores.
So we are living in an ecosystem where if the whistleblower is ready to provide every single evidence, if we don't even talk of collusion, the nature of indifference is to such a huge level and everybody is so happy in his or her cocooned existence, a comfortable cocooned existence, that the whistleblower and the public benefit is of no consequence. That is how it has turned out to be.
That's left to public's understanding.
No, that is how it has turned out to be.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, so we cannot call a spade a plough. So a spade is a spade. So now it comes to your knowledge. It comes to everybody's knowledge. It becomes a public issue. How did it come to light?
Well, when this opposition party leader wanted to expose the case against the current government, so obviously he gave this letter to the public, all the press people, and that's how they came to know that who I am and what all I did, and that document is available in the public domain. Then all the people started contacting me. How did you know? They wanted to know who I am. How did I come to know this whole scam in advance? I told exactly the same thing which I have explained in a few minutes ago.
So in January 2018, this scam came to light. How it came to light, you are aware of. Just to reiterate to the viewers. So there is one gentleman by name Gokulnath Shetty.
Yes.
He was deputy branch manager in Brady's Road, Mumbai PNB branch.
Yes.
And he seems to be the main official actor of this particular scam with another junior of his, one Karad. So these two together, they ran this scam from 2011 to 2017-2018 or the beginning of 2018 to a tune of nearly 11,385 crores, which on investigation has gone up to 13,985 crores. This whole scam primarily revolves around a financial document which is known as letter of undertaking.
Yes.
How you are an expert in international trade. How does this letter of undertaking work in international business?
For a common man understanding, letter of undertaking in international trade is simply something equal to demand draft that we get from the bank. So, in India, in the local system, if I want to give money to somebody, I can give it either cash way, or I have to send it to the bank. It is by way of demand draft. I have to give the amount to the bank, and the bank will issue demand draft. So, in international trade, the demand draft system is not the way it is. Either it is a letter of credit or letter of undertaking for getting the foreign money.
No, that is right. Now, there is one thing which is being shown as the cause of this particular scam. Not getting into the people who colluded, they did collude, there is no denying that fact, that is already proven, is that there was a discrepancy or the complete dichotomy or the two systems worked in parallel in silos.
Yes.
So, one is the SWIFT system and the second is the core banking system. I have another question. The question is, leave aside the core banking system. In the SWIFT system itself and the people who are running the SWIFT system in PNB on behalf of the PNB, now there will be different level of officials. How is it possible that a deputy branch manager and another junior fellow together can run this scam for 7 years?
So, how that bank operates exactly, I don't know the internal system, how do they operate. to the best of my understanding, how the banking system works, if you want to take a letter of undertaking, what is letter of undertaking? Is an undertaking given by the giver bank to their branch office abroad, okay, or their corresponding bank abroad, to give this person this much amount against the guarantee given by the bank. So it is means that a giving bank, a dispersing bank abroad can automatically claim that money from the issuing bank. That is the system that exists. So between them, what is the internal system they follow, core banking system, what is the reporting system they have to follow, this I am not exactly clear. To the best of my understanding, this Gokulnath Shetty or other bank officers who are in the scam, along with businessmen like Mehul Choksi and Nirav Modi, they have not entered these transactions into the core banking as well. They just kept on issuing letters as if it is simply one kind of blank page. So they must be colluded with the businessman.
See, my understanding is, and I might be completely wrong, is that the core banking and SWIFT, they were distinct systems which did not talk to each other. So that is my understanding based on purely public domain knowledge. Okay. What is really intriguing to me is not this dichotomy. What is really intriguing is that within the SWIFT mechanism, could a deputy branch manager keep on giving LOUs endlessly for 7 years, and there was no mechanism there, either on the digital mode or the physical mode or on the administrative mode or on the audit mode or on the accounting mode, which was capable of even seeing what was happening?
No, to the best of my understanding, this transaction never entered the SWIFT system. They were not even reported in the SWIFT system. They were just within the local branch.
See, if the transaction does not enter the SWIFT system, the payments cannot be made. So let's be very clear about it. So it has entered the SWIFT system. I will do a little bit of kite flying